Welcome back once again to the Run for God Bible in a Year podcast. You know, this is the only running-centric Bible reading program that you're going to find on the planet. And our goal is to help you get stronger physically, mentally, but most importantly, spiritually, as we read through the entire Bible in 365 days. Whether you're listening in your car, on your couch, or while you're out running or walking, we know that the Word of God can transform us all, and it is my prayer that you are blessed by what we do here today. We, can you believe, are on day 69. As a reminder, I am reading from the Holman Christian Bible, and today we finish up the book of Numbers. Tomorrow we'll start in the book of Deuteronomy. So let us finish up the book of Numbers by reading chapters 35 and 36. But first, before we get started with that, let's talk about our running or walking tip of the day. How about this one? Use your arms properly. Whenever you run, you want your arms to help your forward motion. There are a lot of people who run their arms across their body as they run. And when you do that, you're creating a rotational force and using energy in that rotational force that doesn't help you go forward. Now, a lot of times what's causing that is a trail leg that's kind of lazy and you're not pulling your leg through fast enough. A lot of times if you'll fix your upper body, your lower body will follow. So focus on punching your arms forward as you run, and still in a relaxed way, but punching your arms forward instead of going across your body. And you may find that you'll become a little bit more efficient as a runner if you'll do that. Same thing applies to walking. You want to keep those arms swinging forward and not across your body. All right, let us get to today's reading. Numbers chapter 35. The Lord again spoke to Moses in the plains of Moab by the Jordan across from Jericho. Command the Israelites to give cities out of their hereditary properties for the Levites to live in and pasture land around the cities. The cities will be for them to live in, and their pasture lands will be for their herds, flocks, and all their other animals. The pasture lands of the city you are to give to the Levites will extend from the city wall 500 yards on every side. Measure 1,000 yards outside the city for the east side, 1,000 yards for the south side, and 1,000 yards for the west side, and 1,000 yards for the north side, with the city in the center. This will belong to them as pasture lands for the cities. The cities you give to the Levites will include 6 cities of refuge, which you must provide so that the one who kills someone may flee there. In addition to these, give 42 other cities. The total number of cities you give to the Levites will be 48, along with their pasture lands. Of the cities that you give from the Israelites' territory, you should take more from a larger tribe and less from a smaller one. Each tribe is to give some of its cities to the Levites in proportion to the inheritance it receives. The Lord said to Moses, "Speak to the Israelites and tell them, when you cross the Jordan into the land of Canaan, designate cities to serve as cities of refuge for you, so that a person who kills someone unintentionally may flee there. You will have the cities as a refuge from the avenger, so that the one who kills someone will not die until he stands trial before the assembly. The cities you select will be your 6 cities of refuge. Select 3 cities across the Jordan and 3 cities in the land of Canaan to be cities of refuge. These 6 cities will serve as a refuge for the Israelites and for the foreigner or temporary resident among them, so that anyone who kills a person unintentionally may flee there. If anyone strikes a person with an iron object and death results, he is a murderer. The murderer must be put to death. If a man has in his hand a stone capable of causing death and strikes another man and he dies, the murderer must be put to death. If a man has in his hand a wooden object capable of causing death and he dies, the murderer must be put to death. The avenger of blood himself is to kill the murderer. When he finds him, he is to kill him. Likewise, if anyone in hatred pushes a person or throws an object at him with malicious intent and he dies, or if in hostility he strikes him with his hand and he dies, the one who struck him must be put to death. He is a murderer. The avenger of blood is to kill the murderer when he finds him. But if anyone suddenly pushes a person without hostility, or throws any object at him without malicious intent, or drops a stone without looking that it could kill a person and he dies, but he was not his enemy and wasn't trying to harm him, the assembly is to judge between the slayer and the avenger of the blood according to these ordinances. The assembly is to protect the one who kills someone from a hand of the avenger blood. Then the assembly will return to him the city of refuge he fled to. He must live there until the death of the high priest who was anointed with the holy oil. If the one who kills someone ever goes outside the border of the city of refuge he fled to, and the avenger of blood finds him outside the border of his city of refuge and kills him, the avenger will not be guilty of bloodshed, for the one who killed a person was supposed to live in this city of refuge until the death of the high priest. Only after the death of the high priest may the one who has killed a person return to the land he possesses. These instructions will be a statutory ordinance for you throughout your generations wherever you live. If anyone kills a person, the murderer is to be put to death based on the word of witnesses, but no one is to be put to death based on the testimony of one witness. You are not to accept a ransom for the life of a murderer who is guilty of killing someone. He must be put to death. Neither should you accept a ransom for the person who flees to his city of refuge, allowing him to return and live in the land before the death of the high priest. Do not defile the land where you are, for bloodshed defiles the land, and there can be no atonement for the land because of the blood that is shed on it, except by the blood of the person who shed it. Do not make the land unclean where you live and where I reside, for I, the Lord, reside among the Israelites. Numbers chapter 36. The family leaders from the clan of the descendants of Gilead, the son of Machir, son of Manasseh, one of the clans of the son of Joseph, approached and addressed Moses and the leaders who were over the Israelite families. They said, "The Lord commanded my Lord to give the land as an inheritance by lot to the Israelites. My Lord was further commanded by the Lord to give our brother Zephalahd's inheritance to his daughters. If they marry any of the men from the other Israelite tribes, their inheritance will be taken away from our father's inheritance and added to that of the tribe into which they marry. Therefore, part of our allotted inheritance would be taken away. When the Jubilee comes for the Israelites, their inheritance will be added to that of the tribe into which they married, and their inheritance will be taken away from the inheritance of our ancestral tribe." So Moses commanded the Israelites at the word of the Lord. What the tribe of Joseph's descendants says is right. That this is what the Lord has commanded concerning Zelophehad's daughters. They may marry anyone like they provided. They may marry anyone they like, provided they marry with a clan of their ancestral tribe. An inheritance belonging to the Israelites must not transfer from tribe to tribe, because each of the Israelites is to remain in the inheritance of his ancestral tribe. Any daughter who possesses an inheritance from an Israelite tribe must marry someone from the clan of her ancestral tribe, so that each of the Israelites will possess the inheritance of his fathers. No inheritance is to transfer from one tribe to another, because each of the Israelite tribes is to retain its inheritance. The daughters of Zelophehad did as the Lord commanded Moses. Mahlah, Tirzah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Noah, the daughters of Zelophehad, married cousins on their father's side. They married men from the clans of the descendants of the Manasseh son of Joseph, and their inheritance remained within the tribe of their father's clan. These are the commands and ordinances the Lord commanded the Israelites through Moses in the plains of Moab by the Jordan across from Jericho. May God richly bless the reading of His Word. All right, let me leave you with one more quote from the book Once a Runner and John L. Parker Jr. I love this quote. "A runner is a miser, spending the pennies of his energy with great stinginess, constantly wanting to know how much he has spent and how much longer he will be expected to pay. He wants to be broke at precisely the moment he no longer needs his coin." That's the idea. Run it all out so that you finish it up and you let go of everything you've got right there at the finish line. That is a runner's goal. All right. Now may God bless every step of every run and or walk. Until tomorrow, go out there and shine your light.